Rob G, Steph Curry does what, and this is the one thing I don't like about the NBA. I really don't.
What's that? What he did?
Yeah, what he did, because it's the only league where they do it. And I have no idea why.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like seriously, you know this.
Mm-hmm.
No one badmouths Babe Ruth and says, "Oh, he could if he played now." He would. Nobody, right? Nobody. They don't do it in the NFL. Oh, Jim Brown couldn't play now. Or what?
Mm-hmm.
Only in the NBA is there a situation where people are always bashing the older players to tell you how great they are. But anyway, Steph Curry joined the chorus.
Real quick, before you go there, I think I want to offer the why, Rob. I think it's easier because Babe Ruth is he's almost mythological, almost like he never even played. He's just so like a godlike figure in baseball. I think in football, we don't know who the definitive best player is.
Yes, I do.
Well, for who?
Jim Brown or Lawrence Taylor. I do know.
I'm with you on those two, to me. But Jim Brown, Lawrence Taylor, you got Tom Brady, you got Jerry Rice.
Jim Brown, I'm just saying Jim Brown or Lawrence Taylor are on my list.
But I'm saying some people would say, and some people might say it's a quarterback, another one, like Joe Montana. So it's hard to, like, argue about something. Whereas basketball, I think what has made things so much easier is Jordan or Kobe. Jordan or LeBron, and it's easier.
Jordan or Kobe's really a conversation.
Well, nowadays you ask people, Kobe's a lot of people's GOAT. So I think it just makes it for easier fodder because you can do that. It's hard to be like Ted Williams or you mean
the last guy hit 406? I never heard anybody say Ted Williams can't play.
No, that's what I'm saying. Nobody. It's harder to like argue and debate those things.
I just think it happens a lot more in the NBA.
I know, and I'm agreeing. I'm just wondering. I think that might be why it's easier to debate who's the best more than any other sport.
Well, here I thought you were upset because Steph Curry's doing media rounds and he's on the Today Show, not the Odd Couple. That's what I thought you were upset about.
We don't want Steph Curry. We want somebody who's going to say something.
Well, speaking of saying something.
Rob G, just go ahead and say no when he was about to call us. Like, hey, we're about to see if y'all want to do Friday show.
Steph, again, making the media rounds to promote his new book.
Of course
was on the Today Show.
Of course. They're not going to ask him any real questions.
It's like when Rob was promoting the Urinating Mouse book.
Yes.
He went on Bernie Fratto's podcast. He went on Fred Rogan's radio show. He went on Doug Gottlieb's podcast.
You are such a big.
But yeah, Steph was on the Today Show promoting his new book, and they were asking him about the impact he's had on the league since he's come in. And here's what he said about where the league is now and how it compares to years past.
I was always told by a wise man when I was getting into the league, like, you want to leave the league in a better place than when you found it. And I think just the way that you see the skill level right now, the way that the range is kind of taking over, and guys shooting threes all over the court. But just from 1 through 5 and all the way down the roster, I think this is the most skilled, era of basketball history. And so whether that was, young kids in the game now seeing, my generation, the way that I play and getting inspired by that, like that for me is important and something I don't take for granted.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it in the sense that, yes, maybe if you're talking about 15-man roster, maybe 12 through 15 are more skilled than the 12 through 15 in the 80s and the 90s. I'll give you that. I will give you there's somebody on the bench in street clothes who, if I took that guy and the street clothes guy from 86, he would cook him up. I'll give you that. But where I think people get this whole thing misconstrued is this is the era, and we've talked about this, Rob, this is the personal trainer era. This is I don't just go play and try to play ball and hoop. This is I got to have a personal trainer to work. Ha, step back. Ha, step back. And to me, okay, yeah, you might have a step back better than somebody 8'9". You know what they had better then? They knew how to win. They knew how to make basketball plays. They knew how to play with the team. They knew how to play within a system. And I think that's one of the things I would get misconstrued. I'm not saying all these guys can. Obviously, Steph is one of the greats. And if you look at current guys, LeBron. But I'm looking at, to me, yeah, okay, yes, there's a handle. Yes, there's, an ability to do Euro step or something, as if the Euro step didn't happen back then. I don't buy that equates to better basketball. That's my biggest thing. I don't watch basketball. Me and you just did our first whole postseason run in the playoffs, and I don't believe I watched better basketball than I did in previous years or eras. I don't buy that at all. I watch guys, and I'm confused sometimes. Did you not see the open man? Did you not see the back cut? Why would you take that shot? And just because I got a 6'10" dude who can shoot threes, who's allowed to shoot more threes, that doesn't mean he's better. I tell you this all the time, Rob. If I told Larry Bird, Reggie Miller, Chauncey Billups, Detroit guy, you're allowed to shoot 18 threes tonight and we wouldn't bat an eye, I don't know what those guys would have had. If I told Isaiah Thomas, Mark Price, the other guy, you can shoot 23s a night, and we literally wouldn't even think twice. Well, then, yeah, he might look even more skilled. And let me also offer you this. Everybody keeps talking, and I don't believe everybody believes it, but you get the whole plumber joke about back in the day. And I start thinking, I'll say, man, when I look at Magic Johnson highlights, I ain't seen nothing like it since. Name the guy, if I showed you those, who's that skilled to do that. Michael Jordan, we talk about him every daggone day just about. I still haven't seen that. I've seen people try, never seen that. So the idea that just simply because guys spend more time with personal trainers and they work on this and work on that, are they more skilled? Okay, maybe the last few dudes on the team. But the idea that it's better basketball, it's better aesthetically, it's better from a high-quality standpoint, that part I don't agree. And I don't think when I watch games now, that in most of the games, not all, that it's a better brand of basketball than years previous. I don't agree with that portion of it for me.
I don't agree with it at all. I just think this is typical. That was Steph patting himself on the back, that because of him shooting logo threes, he's made everybody better and everybody wants to be like him, and he's revolutionized basketball. The reason he's had success is because of the rule changes, the spacing that people have, the idea that you can't defend anybody, touch anybody. That makes for an easier game. It just does. You talk about players all the time, and they'll tell you, it's easy to score. All the European players say, dude, are you kidding?
They all come here and be like, wait, this is the NBA physically, from a physical standpoint?
Right. There's nothing here. Like, really? I can't even put my hand. I can't even touch you. Sure, the skill's better. I have a free path. I can just.
I'm allowed to shoot.
I'm allowed
20 shots.
Yes. What part of that? And I'm with you. I don't see it at all. I don't buy into it. I think this is just players thinking because they're in better shape and they wear better sneakers
I'll
and
give
all
you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah, and all that somehow they were better. I would beg to differ and say that what they were able to do during that time, wearing sneakers without arches and taking trains, and you know what I mean? And when I covered the NBA, they flew commercial.
Right.
Yeah, 7-footer sitting in coach. No first class seat. 7-footer. They had to squeeze in. That is what went on and had to play. We were on the first flight out because in those days in the winter, you couldn't take the 2 o'clock to get to the game. You got to get on at 6:30 in case there's snow or ice and that flight gets canceled. You got to catch the next one. So we were always on the first flight, 6:30 from Milwaukee to Detroit or wherever it is. And that's what those players had to deal with. It's totally different. But skill-wise, to just say because it's easier to score now, and they have the benefit of the new spacing where they have room to work, and I physically can't touch you. There's a lot of stuff that goes in there. And these guys continue to bash the players who played. And I'm with you. If those guys were playing today and they had all of these other are you kidding me? If you think Michael Jordan would have been a hell of a three-point shooter, you have no idea of the skill, or if Isaiah Thomas couldn't be touched, or what those guys had to go through them, or all those guys. Sure they would. Those are all-time greats. And here's the other thing. Now you got 1.5 players maybe. On those days, go back and look at the teams. Were you talking about Bird, Magic? I mean Bird,
McHale, Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson.
Right, like right there. And then you would go and look at some of these other teams with players that they had. Everybody had like 2 or 3 really good players, and it wasn't as many players and all that. I think the league is way watered down. It's probably 6 teams that don't really need to be around, and 6 teams full of players who probably aren't NBA players. And look at where they even are in the draft. They don't even they only have 2 rounds. Like there aren't that many great players.
And I'll add this too. I still, and Rob G, you're a big hoop guy, and Rob, you've been covering the league for years.
Since 1987.
Since 1970. I look at this, and I really try to not be the old get off my lawn guy. And I'm really looking at this. Kyrie is arguably one of the most talented we've ever seen. So there's always going to be, Steph is up there. We got a handful of guys. But like I see a lot of guard play from the early 2000s that I don't see nowadays. Like I see a lot. Everybody, everybody more skilled today. I'm like, I don't see a lot of Baron Davises, Steve Francis, Stephon Marbury, like guards that were just crazy and shoot, dribble, pass, jump out the gym. I'm like Allen Iverson. Like everybody just. I'm like, hold on now. Again, just because you have some of your moves that you spend in your trainer and you've worked on your personal game since you were 10, 12 years old. Back in the day, it was more so you played basketball and worked on team and you understood the fundamentals on how to win. I don't think it just automatically means you're more skilled. So that's my biggest thing is people just automatically saying it just simply because, a random center, they're in better shape and a random center might be able to dribble. But I'm like, that doesn't mean he can win. And we all sit up here in the last handful of years to complain about the quality of the game. We complain about what we're witnessing, what we're seeing.
And everybody talks about it.
60, 70 threes. And it's like, so that made you better that I get to go, I guess I could just shoot this.
So much better, why is the game so bad?
Yeah, it's inefficient. And so that's my biggest thing. Yes, Steph is an outlier, meaning you're one of them ones. Kyrie is one of the ones, Luka. But again, those international guys, they often learn how to play the game, like how to play basketball, not just simply, work on a drill over and over and over again to put on YouTube and Twitter and TikTok and all that. All right, Rob. So they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts. And while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.